specifically picking those things out.
These are the things, just in case you were wondering, all of them.
I'm surprised that gets it a rated R.
Yeah, it's maybe a NC-17, maybe.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, absolutely. That should not be watched. We need to be setting these guidelines for everybody.
Oh, I'm going to watch it.
Okay.
Looks awesome.
Yeah, well, it's figures. Hello, everyone. This is Between the Streams. This is our weekly podcast here from Digital Trends, where we talk about the trending stories and everything going on in the world of movies and entertainment. And we have a lot to talk about today. We're broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. And we have such things to talk about today. Has a new Joker video just came out for the Joaquin Phoenix Joker that we're going to be talking about.
So apparently it is real.
I guess it's real. Yeah. Apparently,
didn't really think it was.
Shocker. It is real. We're going to be talking about the box office. We've got some new things on Netflix. We've got a classic, some would say, movie that's finally getting remade. I would say for some people, Space Jam. So we've got all that to talk about. But what we want to talk about at the beginning is, of course, shockingly, comic book movies, because there are more and more things that are happening in the world of this. So we're going to get to that here right now. I'm Greg Nibbler.
Ryan Juanita over here.
And our question that we put up has to do with the news that came out this week. And technically it's a rumor, but it sounds like a pretty strong rumor of what's going to be happening.
It looks pretty good.
And that is for Disney's new standalone streaming service, Disney Play. There are going to be 2 new television series, one starring Loki and one starring Scarlet Witch. They're going to get their own standalone series.
Well, and I think
this is all true.
You used movie at first, but I think that's actually kind of a good way to describe them, because they seem to be more like sort of standalone. These are sort of we think they're going to be 8-episode series that are sort of the standalone movie for these characters, but longer,
right.
even more.
Yeah, you're right. But,
so it almost is like a movie for them, because Loki wasn't going to get his own big budget movie, we don't think.
No.
And so this is kind of their way to do that, and it's the same thing with Scarlet Witch. I think the Loki one, personally, and I think others would agree, that's going to be the real grabber for people.
I mean, Loki is my favorite.
And they can do that with other characters too, and they can do all of this because of Disney Play.
Yep.
They have this thing that they're throwing money at so that they can keep their other content licensed and revenue streams coming in, and still prop up this new streaming
and still
service.
have that going too.
Yeah.
But maybe you could tell everybody who doesn't know just about Disney Play.
So Disney Play is Disney's Netflix alternative. It's not going to have nearly as much content as Netflix, but it's going to, at least one thing we know it's going to have is key elements such as a new Star Wars series, which is going to sort of bridge the gap in between some of the movies, headed by their new ace, Jon Favreau. And these 2 new Marvel series are also rumored to be a part of it. And that's all we know so far. They haven't been actually officially put out by the studio, but we think
the Star Wars one is official.
The Star Wars is definitely official.
And this is
the Star Wars is what they're
rumored.
hanging their hat on for this service.
Right.
And we should note that this service is more than likely going to be less than Netflix's lowest tier. We think it's going to be $6, $5 or $6, somewhere around the CBS All Access zone. But I think it's going to be more and more what we're hearing. It's going to be more compelling than CBS All Access.
Yeah, I mean, and we do have some CBS All Access news actually coming up in just a little bit.
It's making it more compelling all the while. All the time,
but for me, I mean, a Loki standalone series and a Star Wars series. And I hate this because there's so many streaming services, and I'm sure other people at home are feeling that way. Like, how many do you subscribe to?
Yeah, I'm starting to think I gotta kill one. Like HBO, I gotta kill it for part of the year.
Yep,
I've got both Netflix and Hulu, and I just don't watch HBO enough. Although I just jumped into a new series we can talk about. Newish, Crashing, which is great.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, you need them all sometimes.
I mean, is that it?
But I don't use them all the time, so I don't know what to do.
We're gonna have to start switching to like seasonal subscriptions. Be like, oh, okay, when Game of Thrones comes out on HBO,
maybe there's like a pay by the mile thing you could do,
right?
Like for your insurance if you don't drive a lot. Maybe they could figure that out for streaming.
It is getting more expensive than just what cable was.
Yeah.
But back to this though, talking about the streaming service. Like, what other characters do you think should have their own series that would make really good ones? I mean, can you think of any?
I probably can't think of any because I don't know the deep characters in Marvel well enough, and I think all the ones that I kind of know have already gotten their series. Like, I didn't even really know who Iron Man was until he got the movie. Like, I had known about him, but I didn't know like his whole thing. But I'm sure there are plenty that they can mine.
Taking a look here, Lady Sif, Courtney says, and she was in the last one for Avengers. what is it? Infinity War. Excuse me. Infinity War. I'm like Avengers 3. No, it's Avengers Infinity War 1.
Well, and if you're putting me on the spot, one I would name right away is Valkyrie. I think that she's a compelling character.
That would be a good
Tessa
one.
Thompson does TV when it's really good TV, and I think you could go all into the whole like rise of Kate Blanchett's character as the goddess of death, and the Valkyries like sort of an origin story, because they want to also have a female movie with a lot of the female stars for Marvel. So I think Valkyrie could be a really compelling one.
Well, that could be a compelling one, but I like the idea of doing the television series, because even if things happen, with some characters maybe at the end of this
some of these Avengers
they
movies.
made it no secret, like some of them aren't going to be back.
And you don't know which ones are coming.
You don't
back.
know. Yeah,
people have still rumored that some of them are. So
right. So, but this is a good way to still mine those characters, and especially Loki with Tom Hiddleston. Like I'll have to get it because I'll want to watch it.
Well, and I was thinking about this today because I heard the news and I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. That's probably gonna get people to sign up or whatever. But I was thinking they really have a way to do this that could make it really cool, because Loki has always been the trickster and the villain. But if you kind of play a vampire Lestat for my Anne Rice fans out there, and
vampire Lestat.
Yeah. So first book Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah.
Just bear with me.
Okay.
First book Interview with the Vampire. Louis was the protagonist, and vampire Lestat was this terrible person, and all he did was torture Louis. They do the Vampire Lestat book, and they flip the table. This is his story. All of a sudden, he's the likable, sympathetic protagonist. And I think if they did the exact same thing with Loki, who has all of those elements in play. He was an orphan. He never fit in right. There's more to his story than we know about, and it's also from his perspective, so you can get different. You can really sort of change the facts if you want to, which they did with the Vampire Lestat. It's like, that's not how it went at all, and all of a sudden the Vampire Lestat goes from villain to everybody's favorite vampire. I think you could do the same thing with Loki, but you need a really good writer to do that. I think if they do it right, it could be a freaking awesome series.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Vampire Lestat.
They got to Lestat the Loki.
That is an interesting theory. That is the theory you are only going to hear on Between the Streams.
Hey,
that's a Ryan original.
Somebody else might come up with it.
No, I'm saying I think that's a good one. That is a unique Ryan viewpoint.
I'll take it.
All right, so that's what's going on with those.
This is like a backhanded compliment. You're only going to hear that here because that's
really
stupid.
Original.
All right. We got so much to talk about. We've been on Hey.
It's being noted in the chat. I did not wake up this morning expecting Vampire Lestat analysis.
Well, here it is.
I think it's great.
Right here for you.
I think that's awesome. So anyway, Loki and Scarlet Witch maybe getting their own series. So who else should get one, and where can they go with that? So we'll see what happens with Disney Play, but it's definitely leaning towards I'm going to subscribe. Also, but they're not done. There's plenty more Marvel news to talk about, and also them with ABC are getting ready to launch another series, and looks like they're going to be going. So they're keeping it close. They haven't said exactly what it is. It is being developed right now and written. It's going to be revolving around female characters with superpowers.
Right.
So as you said, they're trying to get some more female-focused shows.
Yeah.
And they haven't really said. The rumors are either A-Force or Lady Liberators.
I hope it's not Lady Liberators.
Or Fearless Defenders.
That sounds like something from the 50s. I just don't know if that's
I just don't know what any of those are because I haven't read those comics. I think it's a little bit of a deeper knowledge, but there's plenty of stuff to mine there. So we'll see what ends up with that. But that's an ABC series.
That's why I think it's hard to guess what they're going to do with Disney Play next, too, because some of these characters may have awesome backstories and
that we just don't know.
And becoming also, it's so brilliant, really, because what they can also do here is not only tell the stories that they didn't want to tell in a $200 million movie because it would have been a gamble, but they can also fill in the stories that they want you to know as these new movies are coming up.
And still keep it all tied in.
Maybe not going to work for Captain Marvel, but other movies that are coming forward,
right?
They can say, oh, but watch the series first, and that'll lead you in, and then if you watch the movie, it'll have
$5.99. Watch the series,
exactly. And these series also, we should say, are expected to be top line series, maybe not the ABC one because the ABC is more like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff. It doesn't really have the budget, but the ones for Disney Play, they're spending multi-million dollars. We expect bucks. Again, it's all rumors, but we expect them to be more like a Game of Thrones type series as far as what they're going to spend on it. So then you're going to get all the quality cinematography, the bigger actors, the bigger writers.
I mean, they've made it clear that they're willing to spend money on this.
Indeed.
And they want to undercut Netflix. But talking about...
Speaking of Captain Marvel.
We did get the first trailer for Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel coming out March 8th, 2019. The movie, of course, taking place in the 90s. It's kind of the, I guess... I'm guessing the origin story of Captain Marvel or something along those lines. It's
Yeah, it's
hard to
gonna be.
really tell from the trailer, but
Yeah, I think it's going to be origin and also leaning into Avengers 4.
Right.
But I think you couldn't get better wink wink than her landing in a blockbuster.
I know.
It's so fun.
I know. Yeah,
Like,
they
they really went for it, but I think it's really funny because any of us who lived through the 90s knows that Blockbuster was like the thing.
That's where you went.
Like,
Blockbuster,
I worked
Hollywood
at
Video.
Blockbuster. Everybody
Yeah.
went to Blockbuster. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Very
yeah,
90s.
taking place in the 90s. You got Brie Larson, Samuel L. Jackson. They did some magic to make him look a little bit younger.
Yeah,
although he still
hair-
doesn't really
I
age
think the
very
biggest
much.
magic
It's
was
the
hair.
Yeah, it's the hair
That's all
part.
it took, really.
Yeah, like boom,
Like,
he's
still
got
look
hair
pretty
again.
young.
He does.
Just put some hair on the guy.
Yeah, Annette Bening, Jamon Hunsu is in it, and I'm probably mispronouncing his name. I love that actor, but I always screw up his name. Lee Pace is back. Clark Gregg is back. So you're going to see some of the characters that we've already seen, from Guardians of the Galaxy and probably Infinity War are going to be showing back up in this because, they're not gone.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that works. I mean, it looks good. Captain Marvel, by my understanding of how they've been setting her up, she's supposed to be the next phase of Marvel. She's the new Iron Man, basically, or the more powerful
The central
than Iron Man,
character.
but- the central character.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, and she's
Like the
supposed to
all-powerful
be
one.
one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is fun.
Yeah. So we'll see how that works out. And and obviously she's supposed to be a big part of Infinity War, the next one.
She's kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Kind of a big deal. Captain Marvel, March 8th, 2019. Going back to the Netflix series, we do have... So I'm going to talk about Iron Fist here in a second. We do have this. We got news that Daredevil Season 3 is already going to be out next month.
Yeah.
Which seems like a quick turnaround. They've had...
Well, what they did was they went silent for a good long while.
Yeah.
And then we started getting a couple of things,
I guess it's
and
just
then
that...
they're just going to pop it.
Like Luke Cage Season 2 came out in June, and then we had Iron Fist in August,
Yeah.
or maybe beginning of this month, actually. And then Daredevil Season 3. So they're really just like bang, bang, bang. Got them all out.
That's the beauty when you have $8 billion.
That's true. That is true.
You can do a lot of stuff at once.
So there's a kind of a teaser trailer that came out for Daredevil Season 3. I kind of like this idea. Daredevil hasn't been my favorite of the characters of, between Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and Daredevil. But this new trailer makes him look... seems like it's going to go pretty dark.
It gets darker.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about Daredevil is like the one thing I liked from the Ben Affleck thing. It's a pretty bad movie, but I liked how he was like a successful lawyer. I was like, I'm always waiting for Daredevil. I know that's a stupid thing, but I was always waiting for Daredevil to become a successful lawyer. And it's just, I guess it's just
You really
want to
focus on the law side of it.
Yeah, I really think.
Let's see some trial cases.
Well, but
here.
he would have some money then.
do
He
some
could do
tort
some
law.
cool stuff. Let's get some tort law in there. I know that's the dumbest thing to focus on, but I kept waiting for that law firm to really take off. Just
But
won't do
who's
it.
handling his cases when he's out there all night?
I don't know. Maybe I'm alone on that one. I have watched way too much Law and Order in my
Yeah,
time.
I was going to say that's. Well, I don't know if you're going to get enough of it in that for you,
It's
but
just not giving me my procedural love, man.
we will have. You can't miss that many court dates. So we've got
That's true.
Kingpin's going to be back, which I love Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. I think he's their best villain, so
Yeah.
you might as well bring him back.
Yeah, so I think it would be interesting if they brought in like Luke Cage to it or something. But
It's always better with Luke Cage.
let's talk to one that is out now, Iron Fist Season 2. We all know the story of Iron Fist Season 1. Nobody liked it. I think they kind of got the memo a bit, though, because I'm watching Iron Fist Season 2 right now, and I'm not going to give any spoilers. I'm not even done with it. I feel like they heard what people were saying.
Yeah, I've seen
like,
some
oh.
mixed reviews on it, but mostly positive, and a lot
Yeah.
of people say like they got it better. It's right.
I think they got it better.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm enjoying it. I do think this, and this isn't going to be a spoiler. Alice Eve joins the cast this season, and she's really good.
Nice.
Alice Eve she's incredible.
Nice.
Like I would say, watch it just for her, if nothing else.
Yeah, Alice Eve's great. She's
yeah.
brilliant and funny
And also
and very attractive.
and
she's got a lot
terrifying,
of good things going for her.
and the way I again, no spoilers, but man,
Okay.
she's scary.
Terrifying.
So-
Okay, I gotcha.
So she's really great. Yeah, Courtney's agreeing too. The best part of the season is Alice Eve. Yeah, I'd have to. She's the star.
Well, the thing is, these things live and die by their villains, and that's why I'm enjoying Luke Cage season 2, but I'm not having. I'm not finding it as good as the first one. Like
I'd
I'm
agree
finding
with
it a
that.
little. It gets really slow in the middle. I'm finding it sluggish in the middle there. And the same thing with Jessica Jones season 2. I enjoyed both of their first seasons much more than I have enjoyed the second two.
I'll agree with that. Like Mahershala Ali is still my favorite part of the Luke Cage
and
season 1. I mean,
really
he's
made that. And
so good.
there was just something about those two going at it. Like, when he picks off that car door and goes into that, that safe house or whatever, it's just not quite there for season 2. But I digress. Just the point being, it's all about the villain for
the villain.
any of
You
these.
got to have a good villain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we've got that going on. So that's Iron Fist anyway. Yeah. No spoilers. Just wanted to talk about that. Should we? Let's see. We've got. Before we talk about Bond, we've got a few different things.
Yeah.
Let's just briefly talk about DC on
Sure.
that side. Then we'll get some weekend box office. We have so much to get to.
Yeah, that's what happens when you go to Alaska.
I know.
Greg.
Yeah, sorry. That was my fault. I was in Alaska last week, so that's why we didn't do a show. Where was I this time? No, anyway.
Alaska.
Henry Cavill. The news about that. I just want to briefly bring up that he may not be back as Superman. I mean,
Yeah.
and yes, he may still come back, but the rumors are right now that they're in some kind of they're in a fight.
Yeah, and I don't know if we got it, but then he posted this really, really weird video of him with a Superman doll.
Yeah. It's strange. Whatever's going on
I
there
was like,
is
what
weird,
in the hell
and
is
it's
that?
not good for the DC universe.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's your guy. That's Superman.
I know.
Superman and Wonder Woman are the keys to that.
Well, and as
I
I said in a tweet, I believe, I never really liked the Superman from DC, but it wasn't because of Henry Cavill.
Right.
Henry Cavill seems like a pretty good Superman if they give him the right
got all the
stuff.
He looks like Superman.
Yeah. I don't know, and he's a good actor.
Yeah, he is.
He's not the problem.
Well, we'll see if he doesn't come back. I mean, that whole thing is tanked.
Well,
you can't recast
the
Superman.
thing that they've been talking about, though, is that we want all of our superheroes to be rotating characters. We want them to be like James Bond. And that we can just switch out Batman, but I just don't know if that works as well when you've got a cinematic universe. I mean, what if Iron Man had been a different guy, in the middle of it, or that doesn't work.
Yeah,
I mean, DC's thing is different.
It is being noted. Keelan just said, how big a deal is it? There are like 28 Batmans.
There are 28 Batmans, but none of them were part of
series.
a broader cinematic universe, which really didn't come together until Marvel started doing it after Iron Man.
Yeah, all those are
and DC's,
separate.
DC was trying to do that, so it's a little different. When you're doing that,
I do kind of get that because there are so many different Batman series, but now it looks like we're going to get so many Joker series. So Joker. Is the
way too many Jokers.
A lot of Jokers, and if you haven't heard, Warner Brothers is putting out a special, one-off Joker origin story film, starring Joaquin Phoenix, and directed by Todd Phillips, I believe, is directing it. And we got a video, kind of like a mashup video that came out of a screen test of Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, and then slowly morphs with a clown over it, and then him in full makeup. So it is happening.
Yeah, it is
we are
happening.
Gonna get this,
we weren't
whether you
really
like it or
sure
not.
Because there was so many rumors for so long. It started out with Leonardo DiCaprio being the Joker, if you'll remember.
Yeah, because Scorsese
was producing.
Yeah.
And some people thought he was going to direct, so it's gone a lot
Robert
of
De
different
Niro's going to be in it.
He was. I don't know if he still is, actually. I've been not keeping up because
no, he's still going to be in it.
I honestly wasn't sure if the movie was going to happen.
De Niro's still going to be in it. Alec Baldwin was rumored to be in it, but he's
already
shot that down in a day. So
yeah, and Todd Phillips is directing, so it's
we'll see. We'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, let's talk about the box office. We have a bunch of other things to get to too, including new Twilight Zone news. We'll talk about Space Jam. Talk about a few other things, but let's just hit what the weekend box office has for us right now.
So speaking of Joaquin Phoenix, the Sisters Brothers, we've been kind of watching this one in the background for a long time. It's Joaquin, John C. Reilly, Jake Gyllenhaal's in it, Riz Ahmed, Rutger Hauer. You may remember him from Blade Runner, among multiple other things. But this is this weird Western that comes from a book by, what's the guy's name?
I'll take a look and see if I can find it for you.
Patrick
I'm not helping
DeWitt.
you.
It's Patrick DeWitt.
Exactly.
Yes.
I knew that's what it was.
And yeah, it follows these two brothers in the Wild West. It looks like it's going to be a really intriguing sort of comedy. It's got some Coen Brothers vibe to it.
It does.
I just think it could be really cool.
Well,
and it's getting pretty good reviews too. So that one's out this weekend.
Some more Joaquin Phoenix for you.
And you got to get that Joaquin. He hasn't really been doing much for a while, so I think he's It's going to be a Joaquin Renaissance.
Oh no!
As you know,
is it too early? It's too early for that. I think. Give me one more film.
Yeah, okay, we'll see what happens with the Joker. The next one that you can see if you want to see something with the kids, The House with a Clock in Its Walls. It's getting pretty decent reviews. This is the one that's kind of got a Harry Potter-esque vibe.
It does feel very
Jack Black, Kate Blanchett,
Harry Potter-like.
Good cast. And then basically there's a little kid. It's also directed by Eli Roth, which is kind of weird. The Hostel guy. And
that's a
horror.
Strange mix-up.
But it's kind of a gothic horror vibe. And you know, it's basically about this clock in this like magic house that is the. You're just laughing.
I'm laughing about Joaquin still. I can't help.
There's a countdown for the clock, and I think when the clock hits, strikes a certain time, then it means Armageddon or something. So they're fighting against that
from happening.
But it's also about this kid learning how to be a magician and stuff. So it's got a lot of sort of. If you're waiting for the next Harry Potter movie or the Fantastic Beasts movie, this might give you. Something to check out in the meantime. And then there's Assassination Nation.
Assassination Nation.
Which this thing looks so wild. And we were talking about it at the beginning of the show. It's rated R for disturbing bloody violence, strong sexual material, including menace. I don't even know what that means.
I don't know either.
Pervasive language, and for drug and alcohol use, all involving teens.
I mean, it seems to have a little bit of like Purge vibe to it when I'm looking at it, but I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
It seems to be what happens is these somebody hacks these teenagers' accounts and like posts all this terrible stuff that they've been doing or something.
Gotcha.
Like outs everyone for their secrets. And then somehow turns the town into a war zone. I think there's a lot of tongue-in-cheek going on here, but it looks like just a really bloody, gory, sort of stylized movie. And if you're into like sort of grindhouse type films, this is kind of what that looks like.
This is the one that you're going for.
Somewhere between exploitative and like checking out the ins and outs of what it's like to be a teen right now with social media and everything. But it's going to be really, really violent. So.
Okay. Well, Assassination Nation.
Keep that in mind.
Those are what we've got here in the box office. Let's cover some of the other things that we found out. Now, you did bring up the Coen brothers with the Sisters brothers kind of having that vibe.
Yeah.
We do have a Coen brothers movie coming out soon, Buster Scruggs, and we got a trailer for it. And for me, like Coen brothers are one of my favorite directors ever. Like whatever they put out, I'll probably watch it. Sweet, I'll take that. So the Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
There's something wrong with you.
Yeah, it's an upcoming American Western anthology film. So it's by the Coen brothers. So it's kind of there's several different stories going on at once that I'm going to guess all tied together. You've got some classic Coen brothers actors. Tim Blake Nelson. Let's see. Stephen Root is in it. There's some other people you'll recognize, but then also James Franco's in it. Liam Neeson, Tom Waits, Brendan Gleeson. Like it just looks really Coen Brothers-y.
Yeah.
And it's right up my alley.
And it's right on Netflix. You don't have to go anywhere.
Netflix, I believe they're going to be putting something out in some kind of a theater release.
Yeah, I think it's going to have a theater release,
because they want to be nominated for the awards. Yep. Okay, it's 6 different chapters with a different story from the Wild Frontier. So we'll see how that goes. But either way, I'm in.
November 16th.
November 16th.
Yes.
All right, so you can watch that right there then. Speaking of Netflix, we've got a trailer for The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. This isn't your mom's Sabrina the Teenage Witch. This is a much darker
it's not
Sabrina.
Melissa Joan Hart.
It is not. This is a dark Sabrina.
Yeah.
So, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. It's based on the horror comic book series, which is the different version, kind of like the Archie Riverdale.
Yeah, the Riverdale, I guess they were both based on darker comics, which I did not know that about Riverdale. So this is sort of a sister piece to that, but it's on Netflix instead of the CW.
Right.
So we don't know if the two are going to meet up, but
yeah,
she's part witch, and there's a lot of demonic stuff going on. And if you haven't seen the trailer, it's pretty hardcore.
It is pretty freaky. There's like some devil things happening, and
it really does look like Rosemary's Baby or something going on. Like a lot of the camera shots are the sort of walleye point of view shots that are kind of scary looking.
It looks like a little American Horror Story. I
definitely.
mean, it might be good. I probably won't like it, but it's going to be out on October 26th on Netflix. Is when you can watch that. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Is that the official
Chilling Adventures of Sabrina? This is not your mom's Teenage Witch. All right. Something is out today on Netflix.
It's true. Let's move on, please.
Maniac.
Yeah.
Tell us about Maniac.
This is weird. This show looks weird. I don't know what this is. It's basically Jonah Hill and Emma Stone in some kind of like testing lab or like insane asylum, and they're being given some sort of stimulant into their brains that makes them trip hard and jump into different realities with each other.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a terrible explanation, but this looks
But
like one of those
that's about
series
as good
that
as
you
you can
don't know
do.
what else to say about it until
Well,
you see it.
it's a 10-episode drama, and it's 2 participants, in a drug trial who go through a series of bizarre, fever-like dream experiences.
There you go.
So I don't know. This is the kind of thing that either could be brilliant or completely way too into itself.
I think it's going to be fun.
I mean,
it
the
looks
actors
good to
are
me.
great.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got Emma Stone and Jonah Hill. So,
But I agree. There's a chance it could go off the cliff.
Yeah. Oh, and you said Joji, Fukunaga, True Detective.
Fukunaga.
Oh, it's misspelled in here. Okay. Him. So he's directing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like
Okay.
Fukunaga, though.
I know. Now I'm just really trying to move past that, and I'm having a hard
Wow.
time. All right, so so there we go. Speaking of him, we've got the news about James Bond as well.
Right. He will be directing.
Yes.
So they lost their last director, Danny Boyle. There were all kinds of apparently infighting about the script or something. Danny Boyle, for those who don't remember, he's the guy who recently did Baby Driver, but he's done a ton of cool stuff. It's kind of interesting change up. I guess we'll see. The last James Bond, with Daniel Craig, and
Right.
we'll see what happens.
And it's the 25th version of James Bond.
Yeah, it'd be
so-
nice to have it go out on a high note, but we'll kind of see how that works.
Absolutely. So that'll be happening. At least have somebody in charge.
That's good. It's good to have a director.
We'll see how long
they
that
were really
lasts.
scrambling once they lost Danny Boyle because this thing's coming. So
Yeah, well, we'll find out
they
what
got
happens with
something.
that one. Moving on, talking about CBS All Access, what we were bringing up earlier. Obviously they have the Star Trek series that's on there right now, Discovery, and they're about to beef that up pretty big with the new Twilight Zone, which is returning. Jordan Peele is producing it. I mean,
he's
That's
not
all-
only producing it, but he's
Yeah.
Rod Serling it.
he is Rod
Serlinging it.
Yeah,
That's it.
They put out a new trailer of what could possibly be the intro for the new series, and it's Jordan Peele kind of putting his voice over Rod Serling's, and then eventually just becoming his voice.
Exactly.
I'm 100% sold on this. I don't.
I
need
am
to see anything
100%
else.
sold on it too, but here's my problem. I'm going to watch the show.
Yep.
But Jordan Peele doing Rod Serling at the beginning of each episode trends like dangerously close to a Key and Peele skit.
Oh.
I just don't know if I can.
Yeah, hearing his voice.
He is obviously he has been proven as an amazing horror director,
Mm-hmm.
a producer who is far beyond his talents go far beyond the realm of comedy.
Yeah.
But when I see him on screen and he's going to be sort of doing the Rod Serling thing, which already itself is sort of tongue-in-cheek. I mean,
Right.
only Rod Serling can really pull it off while he's smoking a cigarette and talking about
World
philosophy.
beyond time. Yeah.
It's just going to be interesting to see if I can take Jordan Peele seriously in this role. I still think it's going to be great. I think all the episodes are going to be great, but
Yeah.
I just don't know if
That intro part will
if
work
it's
for you.
it just might be funny. I just don't know.
Well, it's going to be a 10-episode series, and I guess they already have. If they're not filming it right now, they've already got a lot of it already fleshed out.
Yeah.
So, looking at 2019 is when it'll be showing up on that. Again, another damn streaming service.
Reason to
that
get
I might have
CBS All Access.
I might have to get.
Yeah, Star Trek Discovery Season 2 is coming, and then now they have this. So.
This is getting to be too much. So, yeah, it's another one. But Twilight Zone, I mean, I love the Twilight Zone. I love the classic ones.
Yeah.
I will watch them anytime they're on television. So I will definitely want to check this out when Jordan Peele's version comes out. Okay, last couple of things here that we're going to talk about, and then we'll jump back up and talk about the Marvel series one more time. I know a lot of people are very excited about this. The Mary Poppins Returns trailer.
Yes.
I have seen more of my friends on Facebook posting about this. I had no idea it's had
Really,
so
I
many
was kind of surprised
Mary
when you put it on
Poppins
there.
friends.
I didn't know it was so exciting.
I didn't know either. I'm putting it out there. I'm not a huge Mary Poppins person. I remember watching it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But apparently, this new trailer has got people very excited. So if you're one of those people, figured we had to talk about it. I mean, the trailer looks good. It looks like it's a Mary Poppins movie. Emily Blunt looks great.
Yeah. And Lin-Manuel Miranda. I mean, it's
Lin-Manuel Miranda. Yeah, can't
pretty
go wrong
legit
there.
cast. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Mary Poppins. Who knew? Still a big deal. So Mary Poppins 2.
It's classic, Greg.
It's a classic.
It's a
All right,
classic.
that's going to be coming out. So just want to make sure that we mentioned that. And then the other news is this. This has been rumored for, I swear, like 20 years.
So here's the thing about Space Jam.
Space Jam.
For you and I, and people are in their like mid to later 30s, we didn't watch Space Jam. Or I didn't.
I mean, I watched it, but it was
Because
like
by the time it came out, it was
there.
like a kid's thing, and I
Yeah.
wasn't there. But for kids who are about 30-ish, like Space Jam is a really big deal.
It's a really big deal to them.
Yeah.
Well, Space Jam 2
They really like it.
is what you're going to be getting. So if you don't know, the original Space Jam starred Michael Jordan and some other basketball players, and then there was a mashup with Looney Tunes characters.
Yeah.
And that's probably all you need to know. They end up playing a game against some monster cartoons. Now,
I have to be honest, actually. I've never seen Space Jam. Have you seen it?
In my opinion, I don't think you're missing much.
Have
But I know
you've seen it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes, a long time ago. Oh, yeah, Bill Murray was in it. It's really weird. I don't understand why it became such a huge hit. But nonetheless, it is. I respect the fact that it is. And Space Jam 2 has been rumored for a long time, but now they've got a producer on board, which is Ryan Coogler, who produced Black Panther.
Directed, yeah.
Yeah, directed Black Panther. And LeBron James is personally getting invested in it, so you know.
Well, yeah, and he's starring, and
he's going to be
his production
starring.
company is doing it, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's being noted in the chat. The first Space Jam was lame. There is no need for a second one. So you're going to get it
right here,
folks. Yeah, LeBron James wants it. LeBron James will get it.
Well,
That's
it made like
kind of what it seems like.
a lot of money.
It did.
For the time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Well,
Well,
see.
you're going to get it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So Space Jam 2 tentatively slated for 2019. So next year you may be getting it.
There it is.
Yay. All right, back to Marvel stuff. Before we wrap up today, so again, our question was what standalone series it should be. What Marvel character should get their own standalone TV series, a la Loki, rumored to be, and Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch isn't that big of a character to me, although maybe getting some backstory would be kind of cool.
I don't care about Scarlet Witch. She just needs to stop moving her hands like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just not interested in a magic.
I think
Marvel
some of
hero.
Thanos's crew. I think a backstory of some of them would be interesting.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I think that would be great. I think there's obviously a lot of the characters
Thanos
that
himself.
have Thanos himself. Yeah,
That would be interesting.
Yeah, maybe a young Thanos, teen Thanos.
Teen Thanos. Like a Teen Titans thing with Teen Thanos?
Yeah, Teen Thanos. I want to rule the world. So
Universe.
Clearly,
Universe.
Clearly, Marvel's going to be writing it to us to help write that out,
That's
flesh
true.
that out. But curious what people think, of that, if that's going to be enough for you to subscribe to it, or if there's another character that you think. You can always email us and let us know. podcast@digitaltrends.com. Let us know what character you think should be getting one, or anything that we talked about today. Maybe there's series or movies that we've overlooked, because there's a lot of them out there, and we try our best to keep up on everything, but we're only two people. I mean,
That's true.
eventually there's so much that it's hard to keep track of everything, and feel like there's a lot of series that fly under the radar that are
Speaking
really
of which,
good.
I do have a Between the
Cracks?
Yes.
Okay.
Just to quickly close out.
Okay.
I've been watching Crashing.
Crashing on HBO.
Yeah, and it's not a new one, but you may have missed it.
I think the new season.
It already
came
has
out,
2
didn't it?
seasons, but I
Yeah.
just started the first season. Pete Holmes to me is just freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
He's just naturally hilarious. It's a story about him, semi-autobiographical. He got divorced. He was a very Christian guy, married his high school sweetheart, and got divorced and didn't know what the hell to do with himself, and ended up sleeping on a bunch of comedians' couches. This basically happened to him.
Wow.
So this is what the series is about. It's very funny. It has a lot of guest stars. If you like comedy, the other interesting thing about Crashing is it's basically sort of a weird mirrored copy of Mrs. Maisel. It's very,
okay.
very similar in a lot of ways.
I still haven't watched Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah, it's
or
awesome.
Miss Maisel, or whatever it
It's
is.
Mrs. Maisel.
Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry. Apologies, Mr. Maisel.
Well,
Yeah.
they do get divorced, but it doesn't
Okay.
matter.
All
But yeah, basically, if you like Mrs. Maisel, Crashing is sort of this weird sort of modern companion piece to it. It's
Okay.
very funny. I've been really enjoying it.
I'm taking a look at the cast. Oh yeah, Jamie Lee. Jamie Lee is great. If she's in it, Jermaine Fowler's awesome.
Yeah.
Dove Davidoff. Okay.
Lauren Lapkus is in
Aparna
it. She's
Charla.
really good. Yeah.
Okay. So that's a pretty good cast.
Yeah,
right
it's
there.
fun. And I don't know. I just find Pete Holmes, he's just
He
a
is.
funny dude.
Yeah. Have you ever watched his Batman
Naturally funny.
series?
No.
There's some great ones. I think it's on Funny or Die.
Okay.
Where he's Batman, but then he's changing back and forth to Bruce Wayne, and then he forgets to change his voice, and like, dude, you were just up here in that Batman costume. No, I wasn't.
That sounds great.
It's really good.
Well, what got me into him in the first place was he has a pitch for Judd Apatow. He like wants to be in a Judd Apatow movie, and it's just like a 5-minute clip of him supposedly pitching Judd Apatow. It's on YouTube. I highly recommend it. It's
All
very
right.
funny.
I'll start watching that. Crashing. So that's on HBO.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in again. Between the streams, we're live every Friday at noon Pacific time, except next week, and that's Ryan's fault this time. So
that's true.
We won't be
We're
back.
going to have a little treat for you next week, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully we will.
We'll have a classic episode.
Absolutely. So yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. And again, we really appreciate it. Hit subscribe wherever you get podcasts. Make sure you get the latest episodes, and tell your friends and, your family and your loved ones and even people you don't like. Let them all know between the streams to tune into it. All right. Thanks everybody. We'll be back next week with another episode, or 2 weeks with another episode.